Hello guys, it's Darksigner here from the German Duel Masters channel and welcome back to another video. Today I got the IDC 24 match for third place between myself playing Phobos control and facing Halfar with Fortress Burn. So we are both using decks that we are known for, our like main decks, sort of like that. And yeah, I won the die roll, which is very needed. I think Fortress Burn definitely has the better matchup, and I need to play like Turbo Ramp instead of playing like actual Phobos, because if I just search a bunch of stuff, I won't be able to play my stuff due to my mana being burned. So in the Fortress matchup, you really want to see as many Bronze-Arm Tribes and Sky Swords and charges as early as possible, so you can build up a good mana base before you do your own plays, and hopefully you will win the Lost Soul race to set up the opponent behind. We both have an ideal start with turn 3 Bronze-Arm Tribe. Halfar start being a bit better because he charged those two multi-sieves, unlocking all his colors. And yeah, I'm still stuck at 3 colors, don't have any fire mana. And here I am maybe a bit greedy by going for the Phobos, probably searching a Dimension Gate for another Phobos so I can double search next turn and then search the Lost Soul. But this would be very punishable by Halfar having a Sky Sword or a Bronze-Arm Tribe or Soul Swap, because then he can just ramp next turn and Lost Soul me first before I can Lost Soul him. But I think that's a line I might go for. Maybe I should have just Soul Swap the Bronze-Arm Tribe back and forth, so yeah, I get more mana out of that, but on the other hand, then I just hope to find red mana and hope that I top deck some more Phobos while 2 are already gone. So yeah, the line of play I just explained is what I'm going for, search the Phobos. So next turn I can double search. Do I get punished here? It's a clamp, so unless I multi-brick, I'm not getting punished. And of course I multi-brick, yeah. That's such a feels bad moment. You could argue that I should have charged the Phobos at this point to go to 7 mana. But yeah, what is even more unlucky is that I charged the Lost Soul. So yeah, this situation is super bad for me. The clamp, like, it was good, not gonna lie, but like the multi-brick really screwed the game for me. Like, if that was just a non-multi, I think I would be in a very good position because he didn't have a charge, and I could just have Lost Soul at this point here. But of course, there the clamp would have discarded Lost Soul, so yeah, in theory, the clamp was still so strong that it would probably kill my plan altogether. Alpha also a bit unlucky charging his Lost Souls. Yeah, then let's see who top decks more Belix for it, but we're both at such a low amount of cards in hand that it doesn't matter, and his soul swaps at this point are better because burning mana is better than searching stuff. I finally see some fire mana, but he got rid of my whole light mana, which makes it a bit difficult for me to play. I Terror Pit the Fortress, so top deck Lost Souls aren't that brutal anymore. But yeah, if he just top decks more Fortress Shells, I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, he's definitely in the commanding position, and this is a spot where you don't want to find yourself in with Phobos. But I also misplayed a bit. Like, this game was, yeah, I was too greedy in general. just not focusing around ramp. I just wanted to set up the double 4-boss, which was pretty unnecessary. So looking back at this game, I can see why I'm in a losing position at this point. Yeah, Halfa searching his deck might take a while because he's also going to check what's in his shields, and as he has 7, it might be that the card he wanted to get is in there. I draw a ramp, which is very good. But if he has like the fortress here, which he has, he can take away another whole color. Yeah, taking away green makes sense. And now I'm just left with the 2 colors I don't need that much. I keep the APOC in hopes that I can use it, but there will definitely be no APOCs used this game. And yeah, here I scoop because it's over, and Halfa reveals that he wanted to search Morbid, and it was in shields. So yeah, that was a quick game 1. Halfa wrapped it up pretty nicely, played very well. I myself did some small misplay, like some big misplay by doing small details wrongly. So yeah, you saw my starting hand game 2. That was abysmal. Just all the high cost fire and darkness cards. No, like I just draw into nature and light way too late and don't have anything that charges, and he even snipes my nature mana. I wanted to keep it in case I draw like Cryptic and not Bronze Arm Tribe, so I can use the Dimension Gate, and then I get punished by it. So I should have just charged it. Yeah, this looks like unwinnable, let's be honest. Like my only hope is that Halfa also doesn't see his engine. Like I have to hope he bricks because I bricked. That's just how it is. Now I can get some card advantage going, getting back the Dimension Gate with Fal. That's nice. I have a body on board to soul swap. I think I will probably go Bolmedius Beatdown in this game because that's my best bet at this point. Here the difficult decision is, should I fire Lost Soul first or Bolmedius? Like which one is better to play first? And I play Lost Soul first just because I want to get all of his plays out of his hand and like potential counters to Bolmedius. Now I just decide what to get into the grave so I can recycle it with Fal and decide I go for Mecha Dragon. And I hope just that he doesn't have removal. Like, yeah, you see he has ramp, but it's not enough to play like Fortress Shell next turn. Now I can just drop the Bolmedius in a simplified game state, which is great. So like my abysmal starting hand turning into a very nice aggro beatdown game plan with Bolmedius, but of course when you play Bolmedius the answer is immediately top decked. Yeah, what can you do? It's sad, but the top decked APOC is nice. I get rid of the Ice Vapor, don't need to discard, just need to burn 1 more mana. Now suddenly I'm in a pretty good position because Halfa has 7 mana, so he's still a bit off from Fortress plays, and I have a board, and yeah, can get back the Dimension Gate with Faliga. Sadly, no Dimension Gate into 4-boss plays next turn from the mana. And yeah, Halfa setting up the Fortress. Likely the last card in his hand is Fortress. And I could go D-Gate into Fal, but I don't know if that's the right choice. I think D-Gate into Skysword ramping would be the best choice here. Building up my board more for like a Cryptic finish, or like, yeah, just going in general, and also gaining mana. So the Fortress Shell doesn't hurt as badly. Yeah, searching my deck, trying to figure out the shields probably, as we're in game 2. So just checking what I have. Like, you might think, why do you guys check shields against like non-rush or aggro decks? Because those aren't going to be broken until it doesn't matter anyways. But I think the information is still very valuable, and you need to have that info. Because in the control mirror it really depends which cards you have access to. Like if one of your Lost Souls or one of your Clamps or one of your removal cards is in your shields, you really want to know it. Especially if you play Ghastly Drain like I do, so you know if it's worth to like fish for 2-3 cards out of your shields because there's something you need. Yeah, just knowing what you have access to, that you don't get caught up in a situation where you like soul swap 4-boss in or play 4-boss and want to search something that you need in the situation to survive or progress your game state, and then you just realize it's in shields, and then the game is over because of that mistake. Just knowing what you have to play with is really important. That's why we guys check our cards and shields. And yeah, if it, like I said, the best play here was to grab Skysword. And if you guys don't know what we mean by checking shields, like we don't actually just look at our shields, that's not legal. But if you have a card that searches your deck, you can figure out what's in there, because if you know the contents of your deck, just like it rewards good knowledge. Octagon has a like a card list, so it even helps you memorize your own list, but you could also just like print out your list and have it next to you, or if you're like really experienced, then you probably have your list, like you know your list inside out anyway. So by knowing what you have in your deck in total and see what's left, you can guess what's in your shields. And here I top deck Soul Swap, which is nice because I get the Bolmides back out for pressure. Drawing Bronzam Tribe is also nice, getting some of the mana back, and Halfard just drew and passed, so he didn't have an answer to Bolmides, or he had like the Dual Fang, which is just now an answer, not earlier. And here I think I go for game with D-Gate into Magnus. Like it was really, like you see, it was nice to know that I have the Pyrofighter, unless I charge it with Skysword. And here you see the importance of Pyrofighter outside of the Meltdown combo, because you can just get an easy attacker with Dimension Gate out of the deck. And of course I hit into the last shield Holy Awe, which is really unlucky. Would have had game here. Now he can definitely clear at least 2 of my creatures, but like searching Plague here is not enough because I have the Magnus. He needs to search for Skysword and just hope that the trigger helps him survive, like that he gets a Soul Swap into his shields, or like Skysword and has a Soul Swap in hand, so he gets 2 shields, then he needs 1 more trigger. Not leaving nature mana means he doesn't have swap, but he has Clamp, which is nice, that deals with Pyrofighter, and now he basically needs 1 shield trigger. I pit the Skysword, so Soul Swap doesn't kill me that badly, and luckily no more triggers here, so I win game 2, and we go for an all-deciding game 3, where Halfard gets to start, which is of course a great benefit in the mirror match. Like in the mirror match, I mean control mirror. Basically any mirror like aggro or rush mirror, going first is even more important than in other matchups, I would say. And yeah, to the Pyrofighter point, like with Dimension Gate you basically play 5 copies, which is super nice, and I definitely love the addition of Pyrofighter, not only for the Meltdown combo, but I can't even count the amount of times it won me games because I had like Cryptic set up on board and I just needed like one more attacker to outright win the game instead of setting my opponent to 0 shields. And yeah, Pyrofighter came in really clutch in those situations. Halfa leading with Bronze-Arm Tribe into Clamp, which is a nice start. I discard Phobos and D-Gate, I can recycle them later. And I will probably go for Bronze-Arm Tribe this turn, just to get some mana going. Hopefully he doesn't discard me again, so next turn I can like Phobos and search into something I need. He gets back Clamp, which is super sad for me because I know if I go for Phobos search here, I just get my card clamped. That's why I just decide to go for the game plan I mentioned earlier, that against Fortress I just need to charge as much mana as possible. So I charge Phobos and play Volcano to get even more mana. And yeah, this really rewards me because now I can play Fall into D-Gate. Of course I know he has Clamp, but I can search something that is like that proposes a bit of a threat, so he has to fire Clamp, but also not that good of a card that I would say like, oh, I can't lose this right now to Clamp. So like a good enough creature for him to use the Clamp, but also bad enough that it doesn't hurt me like I would say maybe Cryptic or Bolmedius, because those would add up really much pressure here. Probably Bolmedius, because Cryptic he can just play around by having Fortress and Soul Swap, so he could clear my nature mana. So Bolmedius would probably be the better choice out of the two, because I have 3 fire mana, so he can't burn the whole fire mana. Oh, okay, I go for the Phobos, which is also nice, like that threatens Phobos into swap next turn, which would give me 2 searches if I swap a Bud into mana and swap the other Phobos out. So yeah, I can see grabbing the Phobos here because it's definitely as threatening as a finisher, if not even more threatening, because it enables plays for me. Halfa just going for the Fall plus Stream, which is yeah, good for me. He didn't find his pieces yet, he needs to dig for those. Gives me another turn here. And here it's a really difficult spot because I will take a while here to think. Because on one hand, I could just go for the line of Phobos, Soul Swap the second Phobos in and search for 2 spells. But that line dies to Fortress Shell, because if he drew Fortress Shell, which is very likely with the 2 back-to-back energy streams, he can just burn my mana, and any card I search doesn't help me win the game because my mana is gone. And that's why I go for the so-called Glena play. That term originated from Hymne just going Glena aggro in IDC 4. And that's why I just play Phobos, swap it, search swap, and swap the Buzzer Gazelle out to set Halfa to 0 shields, which puts him in really on the back foot. Like, yeah, he has to deal with my board, with my mana or hand. Like, he has to mana burn me down by 2 mana. Like, not even 2 mana isn't enough, because then I can just charge and play Buzzer Gazelle. So basically he has to discard me and clear the whole board. So Sky Sword plus Clamp would be like the best possible combination he can have here, because then I would lose my 2 Buds to the Faligas and my hand, and he would have 1 shield, so I would need to top deck like another speed attacker like Magnus or D-Gate. Instead of Clamp he has Loco, which is also fine for him. But no Sky Sword, so only Juliana. So if I draw like a speed attacker or something that removes Juliana, then I win the game. This is also great. Beating all his shields down and Lost Souling. That was super lucky on my part to top deck the Lost Soul. It's like the perfect case scenario, and I just attack because he has to block with Juliana. Otherwise, he's of course dead, and that removes the blocker. Yeah, he can trade in with the Farliga, but the blocker could cause problems if I top deck a speed attacker. Then I want to be able to finish the game and not staring at the blocker wall. And Halfa recycling his one file with Soul Swap, getting back Stream to get more card advantage, and yeah, then trading. And I don't know exactly, I don't remember what's in my shields, but I probably take 2 here because 3 is a bit too risky against 2 attackers of his. And sadly I remember there were like 2 creatures in the shield zone, and I didn't get either of them, which is super unlucky. Like not that unlucky, but I would have loved to put more pressure on him with a creature, and sadly I just got 2 spells, and yeah, best thing I could do is remove 1 body. He gets rid of the fire mana, which is wise at this point, because if I top deck Magnus or D-Gate into Magnus, it's game over. He could have like gone for the nature mana, which is more useful in general, so I can't have D-Gate into Magnus, but then if I just hard draw Magnus, then it's over. So that's like the safest play from him. And sadly I top deck another Soul Swap, which doesn't do anything, because Soul Swapping his Fortress away doesn't do anything. And I need another creature to pair up with Soul Swap, otherwise it just sits dead in my hand there. And yeah, gets Cranium Clamp back for next turn. I might consider swapping the Belix, yeah, because he can get his Fortress back, which is nice for him. But like Loco, if he gets back Loco from board, that doesn't do anything. Oh, I swapped the Fortress out, that's interesting. Maybe I try to bait him to get rid of the Belix, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I did that play, because Belix is still in my way. I don't know. He could have also bounced this Surfer to just get a free mana. I get a body, which is nice. So like top deck removal for Belix could be game winning here. We know Halfa has the Dead Clamp in hand still, but probably his 2 other cards do something. Okay, maybe now thinking about it, maybe I swap the Fortress into mana and Surf out, because I know I have a burst shot in shields, and I was afraid he just starts counter-attacking me, and that way I can clear his board, and Fortress would have just chewed through my shields. I don't know, maybe that was the reasoning. Okay, now we know everything Halfa has, because the card in hand is the Clamp, and he gets back Farliga and Sky Sword, which are both pretty good at this point for him. I get the Cryptic, it's nice, it's a big body, can technically counter-attack Fortress, but if I don't have any triggers in shields, he has game on board here. But I don't remember if I have any triggers, and he goes for Plague, like that's the huge blowout here. I just take the Bronze Arm because it's more likely that I can get that off next turn. And yeah, here I probably just go for Bronze Army to Sky Sword. Should have definitely played that the other way around. I don't know why I played it that risky here. Definitely should have played Sky Sword first to get the guaranteed shield, and then if I multi-brick, yeah, so what, then I can't play Butt. But this way around, if Butt got me a multi-sieve into mana, I couldn't play Sky Sword anymore. That was definitely a silly misplay, huge misplay even, like that shouldn't happen. And yeah, I have 4 shields against 5 attackers. Maybe that's enough with one trigger. Now Halfar just adds to his board and says, okay, my blocker and 1 shield is enough. But this leaves him open to me top decking removal for his blocker, and now he's dead. If he doesn't have a shield trigger, I win the game here. But of course, like last game, last shield trigger, this time it's not a Holy Orb but a Spiral Gate that saves Halfar. And with 7 attackers on board against 4 shields, there's no way I can win this here. And even another like double breaker, and I know my shields basically from searching my deck, so I know the game is over here. Sadly, in the end, Halfar's trigger luck was a bit too much. But yeah, of course I had my fair share of luck as well, with top decking the Lost Soul after my aggro push. So I think the luck was pretty equally spread, but it's sad because I really had the chance to win this game 3 because Halfar waited so long to finish. I think he should have attacked like a turn earlier, not 2 or 3 turns earlier, because it would have been a bit too risky on his part, attacking to 1 trigger of me and then losing the game from that. So I get that he wanted to wait, but I think he waited like 1 turn too long, because my last turn I had the opportunity to clear his Belix and go for game. Sadly was stopped by last shield trigger again. But that's just how it is. Like the matchup plays out this way probably. Like he has the edge in the long game, so I need to make a push to win earlier, because like the longer the game goes, the more likely he wins due to him mana burning me. But overall, I really enjoyed playing this match out. Those were really 3 very good games, and congrats to Halfar for taking 3rd place in IDC 24. And I hope you guys enjoyed the match as well. And with that, see you guys at the next video.